Hey! Hey!
Hi, everyone.
Hello, PDXCON 2018. Welcome to Stockholm.
Welcome to everyone who's watching at home, and welcome to everyone sitting here today. My name is Susanna Mazagrean. I'm COO of Paradox Interactive.
And my name is Fred Wester, and I have the fantastic opportunity to lead this company for another couple of months as CEO. So, 2017, we released only one full game. It was Steel Division Normandy 44, and we released a big range of DLCs and expansions and updates and story packs for the rest of our games. 2018, we kicked off in style by releasing two major releases, namely BattleTech and Surviving Mars. And we're really excited to see where these games are heading next, right? Aren't we?
Absolutely,
right.
Absolutely. We also welcomed Triumph to the Paradox family, and it's been great to work closely with the studio over this past year. And we're very, very excited to show you what they've been working on at this PDXCON.
Oh, that's exciting. It's there have been a lot of highlights in the past year since last year. It feels like an eon, PDXCON 17. And I recognize a lot of faces here. It's really great to see you come back and give us the opportunity to see you again. Stellaris continues to get a lot of players. Hearts of Iron, I think half of everyone who owns the game play it every month. And
fantastic.
Crusader Kings 2 ramped up 144,000 simultaneous players during a free weekend on Steam 3 weeks ago. More than Team Fortress 2 or Counter-Strike.
And I mean, that's quite spectacular considering that game was released in 2012. Fantastic. All right, so PDXCON last year was obviously a huge highlight for us as well. One of my favorite things was we didn't really know what was going to happen when we opened it up to the public. And I met people from Australia, from South Korea, from Japan, people who'd flown all across the world just to be there with us for that weekend. And I'm told that we have people flying in from over 46 different countries for this PDXCON. So that's amazing. Huge welcome to all of you.
My own favorite anecdote from last year is that we had a team of developers from one of our friends or competitors or whatever you call them in the industry. They, instead of contacting us directly asking for tickets, they bought and like sneaked their way in to see how we do things at Paradox. Isn't that cool? So when we found that out, obviously we just opened our arms because everyone is welcome at PDXCON, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And as you can see, Paradox is no longer a small company. In fact, a lot of people have started to referring to us as mid-size, and that's a label that we've been fighting for quite some time. We've quite liked being sort of the scrappy underdog. Like, who doesn't love an underdog, right? But I think we could make mid-size work, don't you?
I can live with mid-sized. I mean, I'm used to kicking in doors. And now the doors feels open to us, whatever we want to do. So being mid-sized opens new doors to new partners, to new opportunities, and to new games. So overall, I think we're heading even further than mid-size going forward, hopefully.
Maybe. And what about you? I mean, you already touched upon this a little bit, but you're stepping out of your role in August.
I am.
Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Well, there comes a time in everyone's life when you feel that I need to do things that are more useful to this company. Or maybe not in everyone's life, but in my life it comes. So that's what I'm going to do. So come August 1st, I'm going to start working on what I do best, namely a little bit of new business, a little bit of new games, maybe. We'll see. I mean, I'm going to wake up in the morning August 1st and just have a blank schedule. It's going to be awesome.
Fantastic.
The title is Executive Chairman, so it's a very fancy title as well. I really like that. That was the most important thing.
Maybe you've earned the right to choose your own title, right?
15 years later.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so what does this all mean? Change is happening, calling ourselves mid-size. I mean, those of you who have followed Paradox for a while, you know that change has been a part of our development every year. I mean, every year has basically been a little different. But there are some things that are still the same as when we first started, and I think this event is a true example of that. We've always wanted to have a really close relationship with our community and our players, and we have over 70% of Paradox at this convention hanging out, with all of you being in charge, being involved in everything that's going on. And that's really a part of how we've built this company, and something that we're going to continue holding on to, for sure.
And one of the persons that is here is our new CEO from August 1st, Ebba. So look out for her and make sure to give her all the feedback that you have. She's a very good listener.
Sorry, Ebba, in advance.
No, I'm sorry about that. But we also have, the Paradox family is growing, as you know. Today we're announcing not one, but 2 games from our studios. One from the Stockholm studio, PDS, and one from the studio in Delft, Triumph Studios. And we also have guests from White Wolf, who is showing off their new tabletop RPG, Vampire 5th Edition. On the other side of this curtain later on today, so you visit White Wolf and give them some feedback as well. We also have people from Harebrained Schemes, the makers of BattleTech, from Colossal Order, makers of City Skylines, and Heimimont, the makers of Surviving Mars. And they're all here to hang out with you guys. So take the chance to do that.
Absolutely. So we've got tons of exciting things for you happening right now, and also throughout the weekend for you to enjoy here, but also the people joining us on stream. There's going to be tons of content for you to watch over the stream. But I think everyone's heard enough from us, right? Are we ready for the announcements? All right, I just want to tell you that the next segment has some flashing lights, just so you know. Okay. Now, let's start things off with something exciting. It's a new game, and I guess you could call it a bit of a triumph for everyone involved.
Peggy 16.
Prepare for Planetfall.
Gentlemen, I give you Lennart Saas and Arno van Wingerden from Triumph Studios!
All right. Thank you. Whoa, a lot of people here. Triumph is super excited to be here today to announce our first game in 3 years, Age of Wonders Planetfall. It is our first new game with Paradox. It's 4X. It's turn-based, it's got empire building, it's our first sci-fi game, and in it you will be emerging from the ruins of a galactic empire to build a new future for your people. So it's our first game. It's been a great ride so far with the people from Paradox. It's just amazing how they can pull off a great show like this. We've been very impressed so far. Thank you.
Triumph is known for its fantasy games, Overlord, Age of Wonders. But next to Tolkien, we basically grew up with a lot of science fiction, Star Wars, many other franchises. And what we learned was that a lot of the war-focused turn-based gameplay actually works very well in a mythological science fiction setting. So we built this whole new universe, and it opened up a lot of new gameplay, new storytelling, and many things we couldn't have done if we had made a direct sequel.
Central to this new IP is the Star Union. This was a galactic empire that once spanned many thousands of worlds. But then a gigantic catastrophe tore it apart and left people marooned on various worlds. There they emerged in their own way. We've got scavenging cyborgs, we've got bioengineering Amazons, and then there's the Vanguard expeditionary forces who were in cryosleep when it all fell down. At the start of the game, you'll be choosing one of these factions, and hyperspace travel opens up again, and you start to meet each other. But these former brothers and sisters have become alien to one another, blaming each other for what went wrong with the Star Union. So not only is this a great start for conflict, but it also means that the worlds that you'll be visiting are filled with history and lore and things to discover.
Planetfall is a new game, and we also made a lot of new technology for it. The world is now rendered in much more detail than we ever did before. And also we made a lot of improvements to the procedural generator. So it generates the world in much more varied detail than it did before. And also we managed to incorporate procedural generation inside the campaign itself. So that gives for you a lot of more replayability.
So another central feature is, of course, the combat. You know, Age of Wonders 3 was known for its tactical combat, but in this new game we shifted from a melee, medieval focus to a very destructive and explosive ranged focus. That means mechanics like cover, overwatch, and a high degree of destructible terrain. Another key feature is a unit modding system where you can augment your units in-game. For example, you can take a basic Tier 1 Marine, upgrade it with a flamethrower or a jetpack. This way you can tailor it to face specific threats, and ensure that it stays relevant towards the end game.
A big new feature I like to mention is that the planet is now divided into different areas, and each area we call a sector. Those sectors can be themed around terrain, but often they are themed around the remnants of the old Star Union. And there are different structures in the Star Union, and they can be, for example, weapon factories or Las Vegas-style casinos. But then they all give different benefits to your colony.
So
then, I'd like to tell another thing.
All right.
That sector-by-sector conquest is not the only way to victory. There are many ways to play this game. You can go for technology, diplomacy, or economy, and they all give
they give unique. They all give unique benefits to your empire, you know, like upgrade your colonies and stuff. So there you have it. Age of Wonders Planetfall. It's got a new level of empire building, a great deep sci-fi universe. It's got new levels, breakthrough procedural generation for the planets. It's got explosive new battles. And it's going to be out in 2019 on PC and console this time. It's a big thing for us. But another thing, you can sign up now. There's a URL somewhere right there for news. We're going to be starting blogging, giving regular updates. And tomorrow, at Sunday, there's going to be a Q&A with Daniel and Sham, so we'll tell you a lot more about this new game. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. All right.
Thank you, Leonard. Thank you, Arno. It's looking great, isn't it? Age of Wonders Planetfall. You can look at the game here behind the curtain once this show is over. So make sure to ask a lot of questions. So, we're taking Paradox Games to a new platform. Come on, don't be like that. Come on. So, you've seen our games on laptops, right? You've seen them on desktops and console set-tops. Let's see what we can do on tabletops.
Okay. Everybody ready?
Yeah.
Ta-da!
What is it? Is it VR?
Hardware, huh? But there are no ports.
That's right.
So it's wireless?
I guess.
So, how do you marry your horse then?
What?
Your horse. Can you marry it?
That's ridiculous. Of course you can.
Can you drown everything in poo?
Yeah, like a tsunami of poo, like a poo-nami.
Well, I'll have to get back to you on that.
Wait. It's got no ports, no wires, and you might be able to marry your horse?
Yes.
I still don't get it. Is it VR?
Look, it's simple.
I see.
Right. It wasn't. It was not as scary as it sounded, right? Not as scary. So we've finally been able to do this. I love board games myself. We have a big board game tradition in Paradox. Most of you know that maybe you know the Paradox has a 30-year history dating back to like 1979, almost 40 years. It started with board games and tabletop games. So we've licensed our IPs to 4 different companies who are making these games for us. So don't worry, it will not affect anything that is developed internally at Paradox either, if that was the question, right? I knew it was going to pop up, so I'm doing a preemptive strike here.
Expectation management is important.
Right.
Okay. Well, you know, you've been around for a while. All right, let's start with the first board game, which is the Cities board game. Woo! The designer is called Rustan Håkansson, and some of his previous games include Nations, Dungeon Rush, and Tribes Early Civilization. And so the idea is we're going to have 3D buildings, so you really feel like you're building your city. And in terms of complexity, it's going to be comparable to Ticket to Ride, if anyone has played that. Yeah, I love Ticket to Ride. Play it a lot with my kids. This game is actually quite advanced in prototype, and for those of you who are privileged enough to be here, or, you know, who made the investment, thank you very much. There's going to be, you're going to be able to try it and play it in the board game room during this convention. And the next board game we have is the Hearts of Iron board game. So the designers are Glenn Drover and Alex Sood from Eagle Griffin Games. And what they're trying to do is, just like the computer games, they're trying to give you a grand experience, epic scale, and you'll be able to wage war for multiple hours, but this time on tabletop.
Which brings us to the third board game, which is Europa Universalis, the board game. So this is almost like a trivia question, because Europa Universalis started out as a board game, which we adapted to the PC platform, which we are now doing a board game for. So PDXCON 2020, we're going to announce a PC adaptation of the next Europa Universalis board game. Makes sense, right? Of course, it features everything you come to love with the Europa Universalis series: wage wars, diplomacy, trade, dominate the world, conquer and beat your enemies. Everything that made Europa Universalis famous. So, it brings us to the fourth and final board game. And for that, we're going to watch another trailer.
My king, the time has come. Your day is now. Are you ready to make your mark on history? Free League Publishing and Paradox Interactive are proud to present Crusader Kings, the board game, based on the acclaimed Grand Strategy computer game. In Crusader Kings, the board game, 3 to 5 players lead the historical dynasties of medieval Europe to triumph or downfall. You are a Crusader king, striving for wealth, political power, religious influence, and military might across the continent, across generations. Reshape the history of medieval Europe in your own image. The first step to victory is to groom your dynasty. Choose your spouse carefully, as her traits will have a lasting impact on your dynasty. So will the traits of the children that you will hopefully have together. Your traits will determine the chances of success for the many actions that you will need to take as king. So manage your family tree with the greatest care. As king, you have many means at your disposal. You can build mighty castles, develop your realm with new inventions, plot against your rivals, raise armies, and invade the lands of your enemies. All this will take its toll on your coffers, so be sure to tax your lands as often as you can. And as a Crusader king, it is your holy duty to take part in the crusades to the Holy Land. To aid you in all of your endeavors, you have a trusted council of royal advisors, like me. For you must plan wisely and devise your strategy for the decades ahead with great forethought. When the time comes for military conquest, choose your battles wisely and stack the odds in your favor. With that and a little luck of the draw, you will surely triumph. Yet, always remember that there are limits to your power, even though you are a king. Whatever actions you take, there will be consequences, events beyond your control. Learn to expect the unexpected. One day, you will shuffle off this mortal coil, be it from a deadly blow on the battlefield or old age. Not even a king can defeat death, but you must make sure that your dynasty lives on when you are gone. Securing your throne with the right heir is the key to final victory. Crusader Kings, the board game, comes with 70 beautifully sculpted miniatures, 306 tokens, 289 cards, 10 dynasty boards, 5 family boards, and a large game board. Back it on Kickstarter now and become the true Crusader King.
Oh. Introducing from Free League Publishing, Thomas Härenstam, and from Paradox Interactive, Gustav Groth.
Hello, PDXCON!
Hello!
What a great crowd, what a great stage. What a great opportunity to
Fantastic.
tell you all what we've been cooking up lately.
Yep.
So I'm the product manager for CK2 here at Paradox, and we've had the great opportunity to work together with Thomas and the Free League to bring one of your favorite games to tabletop. So why don't you tell us some more about it, Thomas?
Sure, yeah. My name is Thomas Härenstam. I'm the lead designer of the board game, one of the founders of Free League Publishing. And I also have a background at Paradox. Actually, I used to have your job as a product manager for Crusader Kings, so I know a little bit about it. With this game, this board game, what we're really trying to do is to condense the essence of that great CK experience into a tabletop game that you can play in a few hours with your friends. It's been quite a challenge, but we think it worked out really well. I mean, it's a strategy game at heart, of course, but it's also got a heavy focus on characters, story, intrigue, and all of that juicy medieval drama that we all love. So that's that. And as you saw, we are kickstarting this game, so make sure you check out that and tell all your friends about it. You also have a chance to play this game. We have 5 prototypes set up right now in a hall down over there somewhere. So come on over there, play the game. There's also a tournament. The winner, the one who scores the most points throughout the weekend, wins a prototype of the game that you can bring home this weekend. Yeah, that's that. We're a whole crew from Free League here at the show. We're wearing t-shirts that look like this, so feel free to grab us and ask us questions if you want. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and finally, just to remind you guys, the Crusader Kings board game, along with all the other board games you've seen and their creators, are here at PDXCON in the board game group at the end of the hall.
Yes.
I'll see you guys there after the announcement show. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You too would believe in demons if you'd seen what I've seen. Armies of frenzied warriors bellowing eerie hymns to strange gods. Conversion of this monstrous horde seems impossible, for their ways are not our ways. But we must stop them here. The true God protects us.
Please welcome Henrik Fåhraeus, Game Director for Crusader Kings 2!
Hi, folks! So there you have it, the new expansion for Crusader Kings 2. And I can tell you it's going to be the biggest, baddest expansion we've ever done for CK, right? It's going to be awesome. And as you can probably tell from the trailer, it features pagans, Christians, and holy fury! Right? You can pre-order now, and stay tuned for more information in the coming weeks. Thank you for being here. See you around.
Please welcome Jake Leeper Ritchie, Game Director for Europa Universalis 4, to the stage.
Right, Dharma. This is it, the big one. We are doing the big India expansion for Europa Universalis 4. We're going to add provinces, loads of provinces, over 100 provinces for the subcontinent and the surrounding region, Tibet and Burma. You like nations? We're adding nations, dozens of nations. Yes, there's so much on offer in the subcontinent, but more than that, around the world as well. Yes, we're overhauling mechanics left, right, and center. Governments, oh yeah, we're redoing it all. Chuck what you know into the fire. Policies as well, you won't believe what we've done with them. And estates. Ooh. You want to know more? I know you want to know more, and you should definitely come see my talk on Sunday. You're going to want to see everything we have in store in Europa Universalis 4. You should buy it. You should buy 10 copies each for you, your friends, your extended family, and you can do so now. Pre-order. ParadoxPlaza.com. Thank you. Have a great PDXCon.
In early 1942, the war in Europe was coming to American shores. Enemy raiders operating out of hidden bases were wreaking havoc on the sea lanes to Europe. The U.S. Navy, weakened by resources being siphoned away to expand the Army, was ill-prepared to stop them. By summer, the U.S. was ready to take the first offensive measure to combat this threat. Operation Backflip. It led to the biggest naval battle fought in the Western Hemisphere since the first American Civil War. After months of chasing submarines and raiders around the Caribbean, they now knew where their enemy would be. They pulled together all forces at their disposal for a single, decisive battle for control of the seas. The stage was set for the Battle of the Mexican Gulf.
Please welcome Don Lind, Game Director for Hearts of Iron 4.
guys. I hope you recognize some stuff from the history books in the trailer. No? So this is Man the Guns. It's our next big expansion. It's going to be navally focused, as you can maybe see in the picture. You're going to be able to refit ships. You're going to be able to design ships. I think we're going to do a fan favorite. We're going to bring in fuel back to the game. And not just for ships, it's going to be fuel for everybody as well. There's going to be all history paths, particularly for America. You might have seen some stuff brewing in the South there. You should come to my talk on Sunday, and I'm going to share a lot more details then. In fact, I have one more announcement as well. Hearts of Iron has actually sold 1 million copies now. I felt I had to brag about that. And when we brought out Hearts of Iron, nobody will let me make an expensive special edition, but now they do. So we're going to have an anniversary edition, and it's actually going to be pre-orderable, I think, today, actually. And there's going to be one big one where you get everything, and one where you get this cool thing you can see on the picture. So it's a diorama, and we tried to pick the most Hearts of Iron thing there is, which is Italy taking out London and planting the flag over the rubble of Big Ben. And it's pretty cool and big, and you'll be able to actually see it once they open up to the booths. We have one in the booth, so you can go check it out. It's got a spotlight and everything, I hope. Yeah. So that's it. I hope you guys are excited, and don't miss my talk on Sunday with all the cool details.
Thank you. Thank you. So, are you having a good time? Good. Do you like what you see? Are you a bit curious about what's behind that curtain on the other side? Good.
We're all
Let's keep
dancing
this
away
for
there.
another couple of hours then.
Yeah, exactly. All right, now we can, you can sit down here. I'll do the next bit. Thank you.
Okay, I'll sit here.
So right now we'd like to invite some special guests up on stage. We're going to be talking a little bit about what they've been doing for Paradox and with Paradox. They're also going to be here throughout the whole conference, talking to you, talking about their games, talking about your game experiences with them. So we're going to start with the CEO of Haimemont Games, Gabriel Dobrov. Hi, Gabriel. I really feel like dancing when the music comes on, but I know this is being recorded.
Yeah,
so
we've been dancing through the rehearsals, so it's hard to stop now, actually. But Gabriel, you're here to discuss Surviving Mars, correct?
Yes, that's it. I can say that I'm very impressed with how PDX has grown. This is my second year, and it's amazing how different it is since last. So, very good job.
So for those of you who don't know the game, it's a survival city builder on Mars. It's kind of obvious in the name. Survive build with minimal casualties, I think is the tagline, which is cautiously optimistic right there. So congratulations on the launch. Is the team pleased with the reactions so far?
Thank you. It was a very intense few days. We were watching it climb on Steam, like number 5, number 3, number 2, and then number 1, and then pooh, the Steam takeover. So that was really, this is the best launch we've ever had. So it was really, really exciting time. Probably also it was helped by the simultaneous launch of the multiple platforms. So very good.
So what was the best part about working on Surviving Mars?
I would say the meaning. Working on a game that has the potential to inspire people to tackle the challenges on colonizing Mars and even someday get there. Wow, that's, I'm very proud to be part of it.
Yeah. The first citizens maybe played this game to begin with.
Yep.
So far the players received 2 free updates. It's Spirit and Opportunity. And you're soon releasing a third one, Curiosity. What role does the community play when you work with these updates and choose between them?
Well, we were very eager to launch the game and, you know, to see the feedback from the players, and boy, did we get some feedback.
No.
We can kind of summarize, let's go back and fix it, I would say. And so we did. We have already released the passages, which was the #1 most requested features. After 2 updates, we've really added new buildings for the end game, larger storages, game rules that allow you to customize the difficulty of the game, make it easier, make it harder, make it just different. And so there are a lot of things coming on, and all of this has been thanks to the community. So thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. So while we're on the subject of community, what can the community look forward to in the next update, Curiosity?
We have coming up finally a tutorial, actually 5 tutorials, so you can see different aspects of the game and learn a little bit about it that way. We are also introducing a colony control center where you will be able to see an overview of your entire colony, which is very helpful for the late game. So all of your domes, all of your buildings, you can control them from there. So when you start having thousands of people, it's a very important tool to have, and a number of other smaller quality updates like a resource bar and a number of fixes. So,
cool.
Great.
All right. So I mean, there are many challenges in surviving Mars, like you were saying. That's actually one of the challenges to survive. So what would you say is your biggest, weirdest, or achievement that you've been able to do in the game? Have you successfully managed to have a baby in 10 days?
Well,
it's an actual achievement in the game.
Last time I had a baby, it took me 9 months, and I absolutely couldn't do it without my wife. And but that was so long ago that I'm not even sure I can repeat that anymore.
Right. So this is not in the script. I'm just telling you, it's not in the script. It's like, so I kind of lost. Sounds like Surviving Mars fans has a lot to look forward to.
Well, back on the game, I can say that it has happened that around 6 p.m. Before leaving, I will start quickly to test the new build and see how it's working. And then a few moments later, it's already 5 a.m.
Yeah.
I'm starving like hell, and I really have to go home because in a few hours I have to be back in the office.
Right.
And this has happened at least twice, so that was an achievement for me.
Do you want to give out any clues on where we're heading next with this game?
It's going to be bigger and better. Both Hemimont and Paradox are committed to improving and enhancing the game further on. And in the meanwhile, we have the next update, Curiosity, already available in a beta version, so you can try it out in the hall next to us and tell us what you think. You can also ask us whatever you want. And also, we've been busy adding new content, so there will be new domes available with Curiosity and some more mysterious updates coming to a planet near you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Gabriel Dobrev, CEO of Hemimont Games. Thank you.
Now it's time to land your first rocket. Welcome to Mars.
Woo! All right. Now it's time to start discussing building cities in a slightly less dangerous environment. Please welcome to the stage CEO of Colossal Order, Marina Hällikainen. I practiced this so well before, along with Joe Borthwick from Paradox. Welcome to the stage. I got your last name wrong. I've said it like 1,000,000 times.
Yeah, I'm really upset about that.
I'm sorry. Yeah. We'll fight it out on the courtyard later.
I mean, our cooperation is over now.
No.
There's no more Colossal Order and Paradox.
Which brings me to my first question, actually. What have you learned from launch until now? It's been a couple of years, right?
It's been 3 years, yeah. And I have to say, people really like City Skylines. That's what I've learned. Also, with the modding community, with the amazing community we have, it never ceases to amaze me, the things people are creating for the game. It's really, truly amazing. I've learned that Punami is now a thing, and we still have work to do, because where was my smoke bombs and laser shows when I'm entering a stage?
You just need to announce a new game, and you get all of that, so, yeah.
Let's talk about that later, yeah.
Awesome.
All right, Marina, what's new in Park Life?
Park Life is basically all about parks. We are adding amusement parks, zoos, nature reserve, which is my personal favorite. And one of the more important things, we have updated the basic tree model.
Ooh. And my role here is ask the questions that I know the community will ask otherwise. So the eternal question of City Skylines is, will PC and console ever sync up? Right?
Yeah, that's a hard question. Obviously we are trying our hardest to get it into sync. These guys are doing a fantastic job running ahead of us, so it's hard to catch up. So, honest answer is, we're trying. It's going to take a little bit of time.
Gotcha.
Good, we like honest answers. All right, can you tell us a little bit more about the board game?
Yeah, so as you mentioned, the board game is here at PDXCON, and Ruskell is going to be able to answer any questions on that. It's up to 4 players. It's a collaborative game. Takes about 34 minutes to play it through, so definitely check it out.
Brilliant. Okay, well, both Joe and Marina are obviously going to be here for the whole weekend, so she doesn't have a sticker, but I'm sure she'll let you ask any questions anyway. So
absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.
Good, thank you. Okay.
All right, next we're going to talk to the team behind our most recent release, BattleTech. So please welcome all the way from Seattle, from Harebrained Schemes, Jordan Weissman, Mitch Gittleman, and Mike McCain. So how does it feel to finally have launched BattleTech? What has it been to release it to the world?
It feels like we just ran a marathon just so we can get to the starting line.
Don't sugarcoat it or anything.
No. I can't sugarcoat it. I'm too tired.
Right.
Oh, it's glamorous life, game development, isn't it? It's a glamorous life.
I wasn't gray before we started the game.
So the big question, obviously, what does the future hold for BattleTech, the game? I mean, Jordan, you've been with this franchise since, what is it?
Stone Age. It was actually the Jurassic era.
Yeah, that's right. Dinosaurs roamed the earth when we did the board game. I thought we were going to be excited and announce the board game here. It's been quite a journey over the course of the number of games. I mean, this is actually the 21st video game done in this franchise. But it's the first in 25 years to return to a turn-based tactical, which means it was really wonderful to kind of return to the core of the property. And I think of all those games, this is the one that is the most kind of story immersive, where people can really get a sense of the universe, and the highest agency, right? I mean, you can really craft your own mercenary unit. You've got a metagame that's got a quite interesting economic sim that takes you out into the universe and really lets you understand the cost of combat.
Right. What do you want to do next with the game?
Well, this is really just the foundation. I mean, we have got so much we want to do. I mean, we want to talk about the mechs we're going to add.
We're not going to talk about any of that, Jordan. Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Weissman's done now.
No, I mean, it's true we have so many cool ideas for the future of BattleTech, but first things first, right now our team is focused on fixing bugs and putting together our first big free update to the game. And so that update is all about customization and quality of life improvements. So we really want to give players more ways to control how they're experiencing the game. And so this is really us trying to react to the most common sort of requests and points of feedback that we've seen out in the wild in the, a little over 3 weeks since launch?
Yeah, so things like, for instance, being able to customize not only your character, but all the mech warriors that work for you.
Absolutely. Accelerated combat mode, you know, people have been playing dozens and hundreds of missions, and so giving them options to speed that up. We're looking at some quality of life improvements for the mech lab, as well as the store and some of those common transactions. And then lastly, some granular difficulty settings. So there's ways you can choose to make the game difficulty or harder, more difficult, or easier in different areas of the experience.
Brilliant.
Sounds good.
Moving on from that, you know, we're also hard at work on Linux support and French, German, Russian language support. We don't have an ETA on those just yet, but we want to get them out as soon as possible. And then, you know, we intend to keep on supporting the game with free updates, and who knows, maybe a larger paid content expansion or two.
Mr. McCain's done talking too.
That sounds fantastic. And these three guys are going to be here for the whole weekend as well, so don't hesitate to take the opportunity to talk to them. Thank you so much.
Our pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
All right.
What's next, Fred?
Right.
No trailer! Fred, come back!
Bad sync, that's all.
This is called rolling with the punches, right?
Right. So we rehearsed so much this morning, so I don't know what's happening.
Go for it.
A few weeks ago, we announced a new addition to the Stellaris universe. It's called Distant Stars Story Pack, and it takes Stellaris back to the roots of the game, namely exploration.
And if you follow us on YouTube or on Twitch, you will have seen lots of trailers and Let's Plays, but I don't think we've seen a release date yet.
I don't think so. Maybe we'll find something out soon.
Maybe. Now we can cue the trailer. Thank you.
Hello and welcome. My name is Daniel Morgård and I'm a game designer on Stellaris. And I'm here to tell you about Distant Stars, our next upcoming story pack for Stellaris. In Distant Stars we will be revisiting one of Stellaris' most important aspects, exploration. To spice up the exploration phase, we have added lots of new anomalies. The amount of anomalies will in fact have increased by almost 50% from the base game. This is something we're sure players will enjoy, since additional anomalies has been one of the most requested features for a long time now. While adding these new anomalies, we've also taken the opportunity to improve some of the old ones as a part of the free update. Players will also be able to encounter many new systems with unique anomalies and events related to them. This intends to make the experience of exploring the galaxy feel more diverse and interesting. But curious explorers may also want to proceed with caution, because we have added 3 new Leviathans. 2 of these function similarly to the old Space Dragon from the Leviathan's story pack, while the third will be quite different. The L cluster, separated from the rest of the galaxy, is possibly the most exciting new feature. Located around some black holes, players will be able to discover the malfunctioning L-gates. By gathering L-gate insights from exploration and research, a player will be able to reactivate an L-gate and uncover what's on the other side. There are different outcomes, which you will have to discover for yourselves. We have also added a bunch of new things that comes with the free Niven update that arrives with Distant Stars. such as new types of stars, with binary and trinary stars being a very requested feature, as well as the addition of brown dwarfs and red giants. To improve the experience with anomalies, the anomaly system itself has received a rework, and in addition, players will be able to track all the anomalies they have discovered through the new Anomaly Tracker interface. These are just a couple of examples of the changes coming with the Distant Star Story Pack and the free Niven update. And we hope you will enjoy uncovering the mysteries around these distant stars.
Please welcome on stage Martin Anvard, Game Director for Stellaris.
Okay, so after those slight hiccups and Daniel telling you all about distant stars, I'm actually just here to make a very sudden and very dramatic announcement that the Distant Star Story Pack is coming out in about 75 hours. So Distant Stars will be coming out on Tuesday, May the 22nd, and it's actually available to play here on the convention in the Stellaris booth whenever they open that up. Also, if you want to hear more about the future of Stellaris, after Distant Stars, after the apocalypse, right after this show, I am going to have the talk called After the Apocalypse, about basically the future of Stellaris. So, that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Martin.
Thank you.
Okay, that's
Okay.
it.
Thank you so much.
This was a fantastic opening. You did a fantastic job.
So did you,
I
Susanna.
really
It's
hope
been
you
great.
enjoyed the announcement show. Are you excited about that? What's going on?
Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears.
It's been almost 3 years since we last announced a Paradox Development Studio game. And it's almost 6 years ago since we announced a game that I've been working on as a game director. And now I'm terribly happy and proud to be able to finally reveal Imperator, our new grand strategy game that we are planning for an early 2019 release. We will have pops. We will have multiple unit types. And we'll have characters. It will be played on a huge map, stretching all the way from Britain to India, from Scandinavia to Ethiopia. There will be over 7,000 cities to conquer and develop. And pops. We'll have culture and religious minorities on the pops. We will have units like chariots, war elephants. We will have heavy cavalry and legions. We will have characters that can be loyal or disloyal or to start civil wars. And tomorrow at 12:30, I'll be showing the first looks exclusively to you here. And my final words is, Carthago delenda est.
I have to say, almost 14 years at Paradox, and this might be my favorite moment, Johan. It's fantastic.
Me in a dress, no.
Okay, now we officially declare PDXCON 2018 open. Let's go!
So